All right,
Yeah.
well, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully it'll notify me if someone tries to get in.
Mhm.
All right, so we are talking about self-care today, prioritizing self-care during uncertain times. So obviously with everything going on, it's a big adjustment, and hopefully we kind of have gotten to our new routine of things, but just adjusting to a new routine can be difficult and stressful, especially with all the media and everything going on. It's nice to just take a step back, take a breather, and have some self-care and make sure that we're putting our mental and physical health first.
Mhm.
So I just want to talk about self-care. And so what is self-care? So you know self-care is actually a legit thing because the World Health Organization actually defines it. So who defines self-care as what people do for themselves to establish and maintain health and to prevent and deal with illness. It's a broad concept encompassing hygiene, nutrition, lifestyle, environmental factors, um, living conditions, socioeconomic factors, and cultural and self-medication. So self-care is something that hopefully we're doing a little bit every single day, but especially making time on the weekends and at night, making sure that we have a set schedule and that we actually plan for self-care is very important, especially in these times. So why is self-care important right now? Obviously, our routines have changed, like I mentioned earlier. Um, a changing routine is a big adjustment in the first place. So it's really important to make sure that we're very self-aware and that we are planning our new routine. We plan for self-care and we just know our limits around changing the routine and just being patient with ourselves while we're going through this. Our support systems look a lot different right now. I'm sure a lot of y'all are probably having virtual supports right now. So that's a lot different, and it's a different dynamic than meeting with people in person. It's different seeing your professors on a screen versus seeing them in person, and your classmates, you're not seeing them in person. Just a big difference as far as what our supports look like right now. And it's important to make sure that we still have our supports during this time, whether it's a phone call to a friend or um, Zoom night with your friends, something to just keep you in touch with other people during this time.
Mhm.
Major life events are being postponed. Graduations are being postponed. Weddings are being postponed. Funerals, people aren't able to attend them, and it's a really hard time to adjust to all of this, and it's a lot to take in when you're planning for such a big life event, or an unexpected life event comes up and you're not able to um, celebrate it or join in with it in the way that you normally would. So just being able to actually sit back and soak those things in, and it's okay to have a lot of different feelings towards it. Can make you angry, sad. My brother was supposed to graduate from college, and he's actually kind of happy about it. So I guess that could be a normal reaction too. But just it's okay to step back and take the time to soak up all those things, um, and know that you can always have a celebration later on, or even create your own virtual celebration in the meantime. And lastly, there's just a lot of unknown right now. We don't really know how long this is going to last. We know, at least in Florida, that we're under these regulations until the end of the month. It could last longer than that. A lot of us are hoping that it doesn't, but it's just, there's a lot of unknowns. So it's really important to just make sure you're taking care of yourself first during these times, because we just don't know what's going on, and we want to make sure that our mental health and physical health are being taken care of first and foremost before everything else. And I love this saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You've got to take care of yourself first. So this is really big in the mental health field. If you're working with a client and you're having an off day, your client's going to feel that. Um, and this can also go to your schoolwork. If you've been doing 8 hours straight of schoolwork and you haven't taken a break that whole time, you're probably not going to be doing very well, because it's very important to take care of yourself during this time. Just admitted Carla to the group. Thanks for joining us, Carla. So just making sure that, like I said, taking care of yourself first. And then if you do that first, everything else is going to follow. And if you take care of yourself first, you're going to do a lot better in the other areas and the other tasks you have to complete. So there's 7 pillars of self-care. I'm not going to go into too much detail about all of these, but there's a few that I'm going to touch on a little bit more than the others. But just knowing there's 7 general principles for self-care: knowledge and health literacy, mental well-being, self-awareness and agency, physical activity, healthy eating, risk avoidance, good hygiene, and rational use of products and services. So the first pillar is knowledge and health literacy, and who defines this as the cognitive and social skills which determine the motivation and ability of individuals to gain access to, understand, and use information in ways to promote and maintain good health. So I have motivation and ability there, because it's one thing to actually, know what's good for you, and then it's another thing, and sometimes not always an easy thing, to actually do what's good for you. So it's important to have the motivation and ability to actually do the things that we know that we should be doing for our health. So current examples for everything that's going on right now of knowledge and health literacy is staying indoors, staying 6 feet away from people, wearing a mask, especially if you're immunocompromised, and staying up to date. I linked the Florida Health Department and also the CDC for information on the coronavirus, because I know for me personally, I'm a little bit tired, and I get kind of anxious when hearing about things on the news and even on social media. And I really just want to have the facts, and I want to hear it straight from, the government departments. So if you want to know the straight facts, what the regulations are, you can always visit these websites down here and get the information that you know that you need. Let's see, let me see if I can get Kimbu in real quick. I'm not seeing her on my list. All right. I'll watch for people coming in. It usually highlights if they do. Okay, so pillar number 2, mental well-being, self-awareness, and agency. So this again sounds pretty self-explanatory, but the 3 things that I kind of think that this really encompasses is knowing your limits. So mentally, physically, knowing when you need to turn the TV off, when you need to get off social media, when you need to take a break, with everything going on right now, and just knowing that it's time to step away from things and it's time to do some self-care. One thing that I've been doing while working from home, and this is something you could do too, is I've been making a list for my day, my work days, and I work for 2 hours, and then I take like a 10 to 15 minute break, because it's just, even if I'm working in the office, you're walking around a little bit more, and if I'm just stuck at my computer in my little office all day, it's not going to be good. So just making sure that you just know when it's time to step away, create those breaks for yourself, and just keep your mental well-being a priority. Also knowing methods of self-care that work for you. Everybody's different. maybe you can get through 6 hours without needing to stop of schoolwork. That's great. I wish I could do that. But knowing what your limitations are, and just being self-aware of that. And then agency is actually following through on those things. So like I said on the slide before, it's good to know these things, but it's even better to actually follow through. So knowing when you get to your limit, knowing it's time to take a break, knowing what works for you as far as self-care, what's going to calm you down. And on my next slide, I have a self-awareness happiness assessment. And this website, Happy Your Mind Journal, is a great resource. It has a lot of kind of self-awareness and journaling tips as far as taking care of your mental and physical health. And I think this would be a great thing to start at the beginning of your day. So in the morning, what kind of person are you today? And make a list of that. Describe the person you want to become using 3 words. So maybe some goals for the day, some goals for the month, just something so you have a direction of where your day is going. I am happiest when, and I am most unhappy when, and kind of looking at that in a way where, okay, I know I'm going to get unhappy if this happens, so that's when I know I need to take a step away and actually do what makes me happy. 3 things that instantly put me in a great mood. That's a great self-awareness tool. People that inspire and motivate me. So that can be a great self-care tool also, is just contacting someone who you know is going to brighten your day. And then things that make me laugh, because we know laughter is a great way to take care of yourself also. All right, and pillar number 3 is physical activity. So physical activity is self-care because it controls weight, which then combats health conditions and diabetes. It improves your mood, it boosts your overall energy, and promotes better sleep, which is all things that are very great for self-care. So while quarantined, it's a little bit different when it comes to physical activity because we have to be kind of limited to certain spaces. A lot of the parks are closed. If you live in a neighborhood, you can get out and kind of walk around in your neighborhood, but it might be a little bit different if you're in an apartment complex. So just trying unique things to make sure you're staying active during this time. Also, just make sure you're cleared for physical activity by a healthcare provider before performing any really intense workouts. So Campus Rec at FSU, they're actually doing live yoga, HIIT, and dance classes, and there's a few more on there. So doing live Zoom classes, if you want to sign up for that on their website, it's a great way to kind of stay connected with FSU and stay connected with the leach and everything while you're maybe away from campus. And they're also posting a workout of the day on their Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I looked at it the other day and it looks like they have like a whole workout routine that they're posting on there. So they have about 5 or 6 different things that you can just go through, and that can be your workout for the day if that's something that you want to do. And there's some Zumba classes that are really great on YouTube, some way to get to stay active. Les Mills is actually something that you normally have to pay a pretty hefty penny for, but they're providing free at-home workouts during this time. So if that's something where you kind of want to work out with a personal trainer, that would be a great way to do it because they're providing some great helpful hints and tips there as far as physical activity goes. And I know working out looks different for everyone, so this is an accessible workout. It's dancing to a Justin Timberlake song. So if you're in a wheelchair, this is wheelchair accessible. And then I also put wheelchair yoga on here. Adapt to Perform, if you want some accessible workouts, he has some great videos on there. So that would be a great one to look up if you're interested in trying some different things. And pillar number 4 is healthy eating. So this is the recommendation from the government on how you should be eating. So obviously just whole natural fruits, vegetables, proteins, grains, and dairy. The federal government also recommends at this time that if you're able to only stock up on groceries every 2 weeks. So I did some research and I found some things that are going to last a little bit longer, just so you don't have to go out in public as much. So frozen fruits and vegetables, dehydrated fruits and vegetables, frozen meats, beans, pastas, potatoes, rolled oats, nuts, and seeds. And why is healthy eating a part of self-care? Well, prevention of chronic diseases. So if you kind of step away from processed foods and eat more whole, nutrient-dense foods, studies show that you're less likely to develop a chronic disease. It also provides mental clarity, satisfaction. So if you're eating the whole foods, you'll be more satisfied after you're eating and you're not left with that hungry feeling, versus if you're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of kind of junk food, then you might not be getting all the nutrients and supplements that you need, so you're going to be left hungry. And the body just functions properly whenever we're eating healthy. And this is a lot easier said than done, especially right now when we're stuck at home. I know for me, my kitchen is just a few steps away, so that's always in the back of my mind, but I'm trying to be mindful and trying to know when I'm actually hungry versus when I'm just kind of like, I need to step away and eat. And just know, try to be mindful about that, because it's really easy, I think, to overeat at this time while we're just kind of stuck at home. And some resources also for healthy eating from the Center for Health Advocacy and Wellness on campus. Online, they have the Savvy Seminole Cookbook with some great whole food recipes. And also, if you're on campus, the food pantry is open on certain days, and they have a food pantry cookbook on there. And a lot of the recipes in the food pantry cookbook are those staple items that won't go bad for a while. So that would be a great one to check out if you're not trying to go to the grocery store every week. I also linked on here the 10 principles of intuitive eating, because like I said, that's really important during this time to make sure that we're eating intuitively. And then also, if you're not in Tallahassee and you can't utilize the food pantry here at FSU, I wanted to link the Feeding America website, because you can find a local food bank there. So eating is an essential part of living, so just making sure that you have that basic need met eating. And if you need help getting connected with that, just let us know and we can help find that out for you. And pillar number 5, risk avoidance. This one's pretty self-explanatory also. Part of self-care includes avoiding or reducing any risky behaviors that will directly increase the risk of disease or death. Many factors make up this aspect of self-care, such as avoiding sunburns, driving carefully, not smoking, avoiding high-risk behaviors to reduce preventable mortality is one of the easiest yet most significant ways to benefit yourself. Also, risk avoidance right now is obviously just staying indoors, not only for your health, but for other people's health also, and just making sure that we're taking care of ourselves and each other by just following the guidelines that have been given to us by the CDC and by the government. And then pillar number 6 is good hygiene. And this seems like such a simple one to do, but I think this new adjustment that we're doing, it might be easy to forget to brush your teeth in the morning. Something simple that we're used to doing, but because we're under such a new routine, it's going to take a while to actually get that routine back together. So I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen the Wash Your Lyrics, where you can put a song in and it'll show you how to wash your hands while that song's playing. That's a fun way to just make sure you remember to wash your hands and make it fun, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm washing my hands a lot more now than I was before. I always did, regularly, but I think just everything going on, every time I walk by the bathroom, I just wash my hands. Brushing your teeth, showering, bathing, covering your mouth when sneezing and coughing, and the 6 feet distance while in public are good tools for hygiene, especially right now. And then the final pillar of self-care is rational use of products and services. So making sure you're still taking your prescription medications given to you by your doctor. And if it's an as needed case for taking those medications, know that it's okay to take those medications right now, because we're all kind of in need of all the extra help we can get. If you have a medication provided to you by your healthcare provider, then make sure you're utilizing those. And then also preventative wellness visits. While that looks a lot different right now, because you can't normally go in person unless it's an emergency right now. FSU's University Health Services is providing telehealth for certain conditions. So if you need to see someone, definitely contact them. And I'm sure you could find a local provider through your insurance also if you need to see someone for telehealth reasons. And also the counseling center is providing telehealth or telemental health. So counseling via Zoom, if that's something that you need also. They're looking for new clients right now. So if you need to talk to someone right away, they'll definitely be able to help you out with that. And then health tracking devices. So just continuing to monitor your health, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, things like that, and making sure that, again, your health is one of your #1 priority. And lastly, I just compiled a large list of self-care ideas. And I can send this PowerPoint to everyone also, and it's going to be uploaded on our website probably early next week. But just a ton of ideas to really put yourself first and kind of enjoy this downtime. It's probably the only time we'll be getting a downtime for a while. It's not the most ideal downtime, but try to take advantage of the things that you can during this time, and pick up a new hobby or learn a new language. And some of these, I've also linked some interesting stuff also. And I also just want to know if you guys wanted to pop in and if you had any ideas for self-care, or let us know what you've been doing for self-care during this time. I'd love to hear from y'all.
I would add in that a lot of people are like trying to say to use this time like to create, like form new ideas and like advance yourself in like a specific way, or like start a business or anything like that. And like that's a lot of unnecessary pressures with everything else that's going on with classes and with all of this, you know, with our work and with all of this stuff, that we don't need to be thinking like we have so much downtime, we have to be using it every single minute of it to like create something new. Or like, it's okay to feel bad about the situation, it's okay to feel good about it as well, but to not pressure ourselves that much to be doing something with our time that's not related obviously to work or anything that we actually are obligated to do. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Carla. And that's like why I tried to make this list like very general and also specific. I put take a nap on here because that's probably
sometimes you just need a nap. Yeah,
right. Sometimes you just need a nap, and that's self-care. So thank you for saying that, Carla. Absolutely. We're definitely, this is probably the first pandemic that any of us have seen. So definitely just do whatever you have to do to get by, and taking a nap, just sitting, watching the sunset, things like that are self-care, and I would be happy to do any of those also.
I have a couple suggestions.
Yeah.
So one thing I've been doing, this is not like a one-day thing, but it's kind of a do as I go. I've been deleting email subscriptions just so I would have less emails for later on. A lot less. Only down to like the basic emails that I need.
Right. That's a great idea, because yeah, my email definitely gets cluttered, and I'm like, when am I going to have the time to unsubscribe from these?
Yeah.
This is a good time. And
usually we need multiple days to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
I've also been watching Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix and movies. Just relaxing.
A lot of that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's just nice to just sit there and let someone else do the entertaining, and that's a form of self-care also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else want to chime in on what they've been doing for self-care?
Yeah, I was going to mention, I don't know if this had been said before or earlier, but one of the things I've been doing like every day is just reconnecting with people that I haven't seen in a month or like in a really long time, and just seeing, how they're doing. And I find that at least me, myself, and I'm an ambivert. So I do get energy from talking to people, and that just reconnecting with people I haven't seen in a long time has been like really rewarding. Just rebuilding those relationships. So that's something I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed myself having like video chats with friends that live far away that I never have video chats with. And we just like kind of see each other a couple times a year, but now we're hanging out over the internet way more than we used to, even though we wouldn't be like, yeah, it's the chance to reach out because we're all connected through this one thing right here.
Yeah.
I feel like since I've been away from everyone, I've been talking with people a little less. But I think that's given me a little more peace of mind and just, I guess having a little break. And I've been talking with one or two people. I've been talking with one or two people here and there. I'm probably going to start getting back to saying hi to some people. But summer is usually a little more quiet of a time for me.
Yeah. Same within our office. We really get like not many visitors or anything like that. We just chill out for most of the summer. But yeah, I guess it's a lot less social interaction just within our office. We get a lot of students coming in and out, and I get to talk to a lot of people every single day. And now it's like very, very minimal. It's social interactions that way. But it's not necessarily a negative thing or a positive thing. But.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very different. I do miss going to the office and seeing all my coworkers in person and having those conversations in between appointments and things like that. I do miss all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful we have Zoom and Skype and all these things that they might have not had even 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Who knows what we would be doing without all of those today.
Probably reading books.
Hey, that's a self-care thing. That's on my
I
list.
I'll be honest, if there weren't any computers, technology, or social media, I would probably be reading books. That's been like although it's been like a default thing for me, I kind of don't want it to be like a default activity.
It's a good activity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Read books, write, send letters. That's what they did. That's what they did in the old days.
Yeah, and the mail's still running, so I'm going to add that to my list, sending letters, because I love getting letters in the mail. That's such a good feeling, so it would be nice to give someone else that feeling also.
It's hard to, I guess, send them. I don't know. I don't write too many letters. I could probably write one if I needed to. I'd probably need a little help.
If I had a stamp. Oh, Hannah-Beth had stamps. So.
I need to get stamps.
Yeah.
Well, you can pick those up on your grocery run. The grocery store normally has them.
Mm-hmm.
You can also print them out, but that depends on if you have a printer or not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We're continuing this series, Spring into Success. So we're just trying to stay connected with y'all and just have discussions like these and hear from you guys and see how everyone's doing during this time. So I really appreciate y'all being here today. Does anybody have anything else to add before we close?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for attending, and we'll get that PowerPoint out to y'all also.
Thanks, Natalie.
All right. Take care.
Natalie.
Yeah, thanks for having this event.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.